Okay, so my name's Tom, and I'm going to tell you how to operate this today and how to get through the screens, or where to get the hour readings, and how to migrate through the different screens. Um, First of all, if you guys ever come out here to check oil or antifreeze, always shut it off. Always put it in the off position. And then go ahead and check the oil. Just here, it's like a normal car dipstick. It's got a minimum and a max. Antifreeze, of course, just like the car, check it up there at the top. Don't ever go by what's in the reservoir. If you see antifreeze in the reservoir, don't go by that, because that's all it is just to catch overflow antifreeze. But before you take the radiator cap off, of course, like the car, make sure it's not hot. And with generators, you make sure the block heater is not running before you pop the cap on, because it will put pressure on it. And the block heater is actually on the other side. You'll be able to hear it running when it is. It'll make a noise and it'll be hot. You should be able to unplug it. Wait a couple minutes. Here's the plug. Just unplug it. Get about 5 minutes. Check your antifreeze. Make sure it's full. Put that back on, and then plug it back in. Because in the wintertime, it has to stay warm.
Now, because of that's location, do we just put our finger in there to see if it's there at finger level, or
Antifreeze, it should always be at the top of the tank. And yeah, unless you get a ladder and you get to the top, once you take it off and look down in it, you just stick your finger in it and it gets to the tip, and you know it's full.
okay?
Or like say you get a ladder with an access panel at the top, you take it off, or most time you just look at that side here and see how full it is. Yeah, just do not go by the reservoir. The other thing is, of course, maintenance has got to be done on it every year. Full major, full change, filters, air filters as needed. Usually recommend the battery be replaced about every 2 years. Some people take it to 5 years, or just whenever it quits. I always recommend 2 years because it's always in a state of charge and discharge. Of course, there's a battery charger that's built into it, which is inside this cabinet. Keeps the battery maintained, so you don't have to worry about it. And then, of course, once the engine starts, the alternator takes over and starts charging. As far as navigating through the screens to where you can see, you will be at home screen, which is kind of hard to see, where it shows the alarms, left display, engine, generator. You basically just want to arrow down. Once you get to engine, you'll hit enter, and then you can go through and scroll through and see the oil pressure, engine temp. Hit enter again, you'll see the engine RPM, battery charge voltage. And if you keep going, you'll finally run into engine run time, so you see how many hours running. While it's running, on this display that I've got lit up over here, it'll tell you what the voltage is, and it'll tell you what the amperage is when it's loaded. So you'll be able to see the amperage on all three phases. If you happen to get an alarm, say like in the wintertime it's just really, really cold, and you get an alarm saying low coolant temperature, you get the block heaters hot, it's probably because it's so cold the block heater can't keep up. To eliminate that alarm, you have to put it to off and hit enter, and that'll clear the alarm. But if you leave it in auto and hit enter, it won't clear it. You got to put it to off. Same way if you hit the e-stop. It's an off, and you hit enter, it'll clear it, and then once you release, you're good to go. So I recommend if anytime you get a fault, say it went to go exercise, but it failed, and you see that there's a fault on there, record what the fault is, put it to off, and if it's still within its exercise period, put it back to auto, it will automatically try to start and run again. If it faults again, then you know it's a true fault. Sometimes you do get phantom faults, you know, just because it could be super, super cold or what have you. It may take more than the 5 attempts for it to actually start. To start manually run it, basically you just flip it over to manual. that's how, if you don't want to do a transfer test, I recommend, at least manually starting the generator if it's going to storm, just to make sure it starts and runs. But I will take you in there and show you how to do a full transfer test, so you see how it works. Other than that, out here, that's about it for you guys to do. Like I said, the air filter is just as needed. Just keep an eye on it. Starts looking dirty. Start seeing a bunch of black smoke coming out of it, and it doesn't want to run. It's clogged.
Isn't that set up to run every Monday for a half hour or so?
It depends on who set up the schedule, but yeah, it should be every week.
Once a week, every Monday, I think they have it for a half hour.
Okay. And I always recommend at least a half an hour, because with diesels, is it loaded or not loaded? Do you know? Does it transfer when it exercises?
I'm not for sure. I know that they said it was set up every Monday to run for a half hour.
Okay, they probably set it up with a load. And I always recommend, if you exercise it without a load, then you need to do a transfer test at least once a month and let it run under load for a good 30 minutes. Because what happens is with diesel generators, if they don't run under a load, they won't burn off all the excess diesel fuel, and it starts wet stacking. And wet stacking is just, it turns into excess diesel fuel into tar, and it just oozes out of the turbo, and it starts messing up the engine. So always try to exercise it with a load, no less than 30 minutes, because that way it gets up to full engine potential. It gets hot, it's burning everything off. So that's why we normally no less than 30 minutes. Some people say I only want it to run 10 minutes. Some people want it.
Now, do you know what this is all running, or is that going to be up to electrician?
I could probably tell you if I go in there and look at the transfer switch and see where it goes to. There's probably an EMP panel, emergency panel, and I can probably tell you. More than likely, it's your lights and your overhead doors. Just make sure you get in and out. So, but yeah. Anybody have any questions out here? Or how to start it, stop it? Just don't forget to put it back in auto when you're done checking everything. Like I said, most importantly, if you're checking oil and antifreeze, put it to off. Because that way you don't get the daylight scared out of you having to start it up. And that way you won't get nothing caught in the fan. Because the blade or the belt is exposed. So that way you don't have to worry about that either.
And then your fuel fill valve is over here on this side as well too, right?
Yep. And like I said, on the fuel, no matter what time of year it is, always make sure they put the winterization and biocide in it. Winterization keeps it from gelling. Biocide keeps the algae from growing. And the fuel fill next right here, you have a mechanical gauge. And then on the display, you have a percentage gauge. And don't overfill it. Don't let them fill it past 90%, or you will get a high fuel level alarm. 90% tops. They want to leave room for some expansion. But yeah, you've got a mechanical and an electronic gauge, both. So if you got somebody coming out to fill it, you'll want to make sure they go here to engine, hit enter. You'll keep hitting enter until you see fuel level, which is about the third screen. Right now it's at 88%. So when you got somebody coming out to fill it up, make sure they've got a percentage and just start filling it up. Most time I say stop about 87%, wait and let the foam settle down from filling it to see where it tops out at. Do a transfer test. It's real simple. So who's all right-handed, who's all left-handed?
Well, I got one retarded one.
Okay, that's the same as my wife.
Sure. He's the only lefty.
You want to use your non-dominant hand, and you always stand to the side when you do a transfer test. On this switch, it's very simple. You always make sure the generator is in auto. Before you do a transfer test, you want to make sure your fluids and everything are full. But it's the engine test button. You just push it. I'm right-handed, so it says start test. You're gonna hit enter. It just says enter here. I'm gonna ask for a code.
Why you do it with your non-dominant hand?
You want to keep your dominant hand, don't you, if this blows up?
Don't put your
Close enough, I'll probably get them both.
So you just push engine test twice, I'm sorry. The first number is going to blink. This is an ATS 300. The code is 0300. That's what's going to ask you. So you're going to hit enter on the 0. So you flash to the next one, and you get the arrow up. So you get 3. And hit enter, enter, last enter. It's going to start the engine right about now. Now this is all, after you do that, it is all timed. It'll time itself out. And this is how you're going to fully function the transfer switch.
You'll hear transfer
Here. Sorry, now they've got it.
There you go.
Just like that.
And that should be done at least once a year.
You should do that once a month if it doesn't exercise under load.
Do you know if it's, how do you know if it's set up to do weekly? Under
We'd have to go into the programming
okay.
and find out.
Because when he told us about it the first time, I thought he said they had it set up somehow. Because he said we might lose power, so that maybe it is testing under load if it flashes.
Well, I don't think that you guys should be doing any load testing.
Who?
You guys.
There should be no reason.
It was already set up automatically.
I know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
No, I don't want to, but I think he had it set up that way. That's because he said it's supposed to set up every Monday to run for a half hour.
We usually set them for Monday mornings at like 6:30 to 7.
Correct. But the question was if he was doing it under load or not. That's what you need to find out.
Yeah.
Well, transferred under a load, everything flashed.
And how long does it run when you do it manually this way?
15 minutes is what they got programmed. If you don't want to wait 15 minutes, you can bypass it. Bypass, you just hold both these buttons, and I'll bypass it. And switch back.
Trying to get out, shrink it out with it.
So after it times out, it'll get through a 5-minute cool down and then shut itself down. Now in a power outage, it's going to stay on generator power, like I said, until it sees good utility power. And then once it sees good utility power, it'll still stay on generator power for probably 30 minutes or however long they've got the timer set. And then it'll go transfer back and cool down and shut down. And some of the generator controllers, once you see this engine cool down timer time out, they'll be alarmed if that still runs for about another minute because that's its own timer on the controller. Once it was 1 minute cool down.
Pretty noisy when it does its transfer.
Oh, this was quiet. Compared to a lot of them.
Come up through the district.
Yeah, usually should have been some of the Cummins transfer switches I did yesterday. So other than that,
Things are scary. That's all I mean.
only when they don't work.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
Invisible force that can kill you. Respect it.
It's like I tell everybody,
It only hurts for a minute.
homeowners I used to deal with electricity, you can't see it, smell it, or hear it. Where people get hurt is assume that it's not there. You always assume that electricity is there until you check it with a meter.
Even if you're approaching the moon, use the back of your hand.
Close hand.
Yep.
Yeah, I still don't like getting shot.
I don't either.
So that's where a meter comes in handy.
on the truck.
And like I said, you know, if you lose just even on a single phase system, if you lose one phase, it will start the generator, it will transfer, and it'll stay there until you see proper voltage. And that's why I say if like a lot of three-phase systems, you'll drop a leg out, part of the building may have power, part of it may not have power. And so, first thing I always check is if you have all three phases. Any questions on transfer switch operation? And like I said, once you transfer it, you should be able to just walk away. It'll time itself out, 15 minutes, 20 minutes altogether, and then it should shut down. And the indicator lights also are a good indication. Source one is always your utility power, source two is generator power. If you come in here and the generator's running and you don't have a source one light available, you don't have the utility power. Leave it alone, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. If you come in here and the generator's running, it's been running, but yet you must see a source two light, okay, something wrong with the generator, but 9 times out of 10 the generator's going to fault out on whatever's wrong with it. Voltage, frequency, it's got a lot of protections, so if it's got low on coolant, it's going to fault out. Like on low coolant level, it will shut it down until you top it off or the code. Okay, that's probably a lot. Low coolant temperature, it'll be the alarm, but it won't keep the generator from running.
Is there a countdown timer on there?
Display.
It's not like the older versions where there's a dial. When you open up the transfer switch, there's dials and you can set your time.
Well, yeah, set your delays and everything. It's all done through the interface. Most of it's all factory preset, but there's a lot of instances like nursing homes where the state are now requiring hour-long transfer tests. So they're going to be able to have programmable exercisers where you at least have 60 minutes of exercise time. So other than that, anything else?